12. Question number 12 is completing the square. It says a squared minus 330 over 10 a plus blank. It says two things: complete the square and rewrite it. Okay? So completing the square is b over 2 squared. Alright? B, excuse me, I burped. B happens to be negative 33 over 10. So be careful with that. So here I'm going to rewrite this. I got negative 33 over 10. And this is saying divided by 2. Well, how can I deal with this? Well, we do the some of you know it as keep, change, flip. We do we change this to multiplication, and this turns into 1/2. So if I multiply this out, I got negative 33 over 20. That's inside here. Then we're going to multiply this out or square it. And so whatever we get, let's see, 33 squared, we get 1089, and at the bottom we get 400. That will complete this square. Now we put 1089 over 400, right? So now that we do that, that is answering the first part, complete the square. Now that we complete the square, you're going to rewrite this. Since this is a perfect square, here's how you write it. You write parentheses, you put the square. You start with whatever the variable is. I'm going to put a. And then what goes here is before you square it, before we ended up with the final answer, the inside, if you notice, it's negative 33 over 10 over 20. So I'm going to write negative 33 over 20. This, before I square it, that's what I'm going to rewrite right there. So here's the rewrite. Right here, this whole thing, this parenthesis, and here's completed the square for number 12. Alright, the last two questions that you guys were asking for is question 31 and 32. Now, this has to do with a unit circle. A lot of you know if you're putting this on your cheat sheet, you're putting the unit circle in there. You have to understand or read it where it is. So, when you have, for example, number 31, it says this. It has here an arrow. It says negative 5 pi over 6. So it's asking, what's this spot in a unit circle? Okay? Now, the way you want to look at it, well, how much is a unit circle? A unit circle is 2 pi. So if I'm taking away this much from 2 pi, it's going to give me that location. So if I get 2 pi, take away 5 pi over 6. We're subtracting it because this is like, for example, if you have a whole pizza, this is how much somebody took away. So you're like, okay, if they ate that, how much pizza do I have left over? So here, we make sure we have the common denominators. So I need to multiply this by 6. So we get 12 pi over 6 minus 5 pi over 6 equals 7 pi over 6. So if this is the negative amount, the positive amount is 7 pi over 6. So here in your unit circle, you have to find out which one is 7 pi over 6. Okay, so let's think about it. This is a third quadrant, so I know both of my answers are negative. This represents cosine, and this represents sine. Here we have the square root. I'm going to say the square root of 3 over 2, and this is the 1/2. So my question 31 is, the question says sine of whatever this angle is. Well, sine is this. So my answer is 31. Yeah, it's negative 1/2. Okay. So how did I do this? I changed this by finding out what's the positive direction instead of the negative direction. And the way you do that, you just, since the whole pi is 2 pi, I subtracted that amount to see what was left over and where is this. Okay. All right. So another way of looking at it, I think if you locate 5 pi over 6, the positive, and then you reflect over the x-axis, you're going to end up in the same spot. Okay? And number 30, what was that, the last one, 32? Oh, okay. So number 32 has to do with tangent. Just a flashback. Tangent theta is sine theta over cosine theta, right? Remember that, because that's what's going to be important for this example. So in this one, it says, alright, here's a unit circle, and what is it when it goes all the way to 3 pi over 2? What is this location? In a unit circle, if you look at a unit circle, what is this? And a lot of you know this already. This is not on a quadrant, it's in between. This is at 0, comma, -1. Well, if this represents cosine, this represents sine, let's do it like this. So to find tangent theta, you're going to write sine, well, sine is -1/2, or -1, -1, over cosine. Cosine is 0. Well, if I put this in my calculator, it's going to give me undefined. It's going to give me error every time. So the answer, wait, hold on. Where did I go? Is it sine over cosine? Sine is that? Cosine is that? Yeah. So if I put -1 divided by 0, then what's -1 divided by 0? Oh, sorry. The question was not asking for tangent. My bad. It was just asking for cosine. Well, what is cosine? Cosine's right here. Cosine theta right there is 0. Sorry about that. My bad. I was looking at tangent. I didn't know. But alright, so the next questions are gonna be Thursday. Hit me up if you want to. I'll be doing it around noon. Questions are gonna be on Thursday. Same idea. A little setback though on Saturday. So Thursday at 12. And if you want to ask me questions so you won't forget, ask me before, and then I'll just save them up for Thursday. Thursday at 12 for questions, and by 1 p.m. the video hopefully is not a long one. On Saturday, we're going to change that to Sunday. The reason why, because I'm going to Universal Studios. Actually, no, not Universal Studios. Warner Brothers Studios, where they film Friends and The Big Bang and all of those, so I won't be able to. So Saturday's little thing is going to move to Sunday. Sorry, kids. I have to have fun over the spring break. So hopefully enjoy. See you guys.